Caitlin Clark is the only woman in basketball to ever sign with Wilson Basketball, and she's the only athlete since Michael Jordan to do so.
If we're comparing a Caitlin Clark signature shoe release to anybody not named Michael Jordan, anybody not named LeBron James, you're being extremely disingenuous.
Basketball fans, brace yourselves. What just happened is about to rock Nike's billion-dollar empire to its core. This is nothing short of an industry-shaking moment that's got executives at Nike's headquarters sweating bullets. Right now, Nike stands as the world's biggest sports brand valued at over $200 billion, and they just signed what many are calling the next Michael Jordan of women's basketball. Caitlin Clark is locked into an 8-year, $28 million deal, a massive bargain compared to her real market value. Nike thought they'd secured the golden goose that would print cash for the next decade. But then Wilson, yes Wilson of all companies, dropped a commercial so masterfully emotional and perfectly executed that it left Nike's entire marketing department questioning every decision they've ever made.
When you strip away the noise and the bright lights, it's just the game you loved as a kid.
Chant of defense by the Clark fans.
And here's the twist. Wilson did it using basketballs, not shoes. Yet the ripple effect could change everything. Let's paint the picture of Nike's current nightmare. Over the past few years, Nike has been collapsing from within, losing over $100 billion in value since 2021. Things got so disastrous that many were demanding the CEO's resignation, and he eventually stepped down. Meanwhile, Adidas managed to thrive even after cutting ties with Yeezy, while Nike sank deeper into its own chaos. Reports indicate Nike is heading toward an 11.5% revenue drop to $11 billion in the third quarter, its worst plunge since the 38% crash during the pandemic era of 2020. Under CEO Hill, Nike tried to spark a bold turnaround, but analysts like Morningstar's David Schwartz warned that a few flashy product releases wouldn't be enough. To truly recover, Nike needed a new global franchise, a powerhouse product line worth billions, something that takes years to build. Then came what seemed like their miracle, Caitlin Clark. A generational superstar, twice as recognizable as Angel Reese in college and 4 times more famous than any men's player, an unheard-of feat in basketball history. When she went pro, every brand fought to sign her. Under Armour wanted her as the face of Curry brand, Adidas was ready to write blank checks, but she stayed loyal to Nike, remembering how they supported her in college. Fans eagerly awaited her signature shoe, expected to redefine women's basketball. But then came the shocker. Instead of Caitlin, Nike announced Aya Wilson would get her own signature shoe first. Hidden in that same statement was the bombshell. Caitlin's shoe wouldn't release until 2026, maybe even 2027, a delay that's bound to enrage every Nike investor.
People were even speculating that. But today was the Nike quarterly call, putting to rest any rumors that A, this wasn't a done deal, and B, there are renegotiations at the table. Something that this did clear up as well, it's looking like Caitlin Clark's shoe is coming in 2026.
You've got to be kidding. 2 to 3 years for a shoe? That's absurd. Let's put this in perspective. Back in 2003, when LeBron James was being courted by every major sneaker company, Nike was so determined to sign him that they started designing his shoe before he even joined. They used the code name Air Zoom Noble, LeBron spelled backward, to keep it top secret. And when LeBron made his NBA debut, he was already wearing his first signature pair, just 3 months from concept to court.
If we're comparing a Caitlin Clark signature shoe release to anybody not named Michael Jordan, anybody not named LeBron James, you're being extremely disingenuous. Extremely disingenuous. We can't compare abnormality to normal behaviors. We can't compare the extreme case, the rarest of the rare case, to an average Joe Schmo walking down the street singing do I did it dum diddy do. We can't be doing that. We only compare Clark to Jordan, Clark to James, Clark to Tiger, Clark to Gretzky, Clark to Ali. That's it.
So Nike has somehow stretched a 3-month process into a 3-year ordeal, and it's about to blow up in the most humiliating way possible. When Caitlin inked her deal, major outlets immediately questioned why her signature shoe sparked so much backlash. The controversy centered around fairness. Some fans insisted that Aya Wilson deserved a shoe before Clark, especially since Caitlin hadn't yet played a single WNBA game. But here's the truth. Business isn't built on fairness, it's built on profit. Allen Iverson outsold Tim Duncan in signature sneakers, even though Duncan was the more fundamentally dominant player. Nike released 2 versions of Duncan's shoe and discontinued both due to low sales, and Duncan didn't care because he understood the business side of the game. But Aya Wilson isn't Tim Duncan. Nike has been pushing her hard, featuring her in ads, plastering her on billboards, and placing her front and center in promotions. And here's where the situation starts to feel uneasy. Wilson has made a few controversial remarks regarding race and privilege in basketball. When talking about Paige Buchers, she implied the star's success was boosted by her privilege, only mentioning her actual talent almost as an afterthought.
Black women, Paige reminds me a lot of you. Like, you say you're not really about me. And she knows how her privilege has gotten her to that point. And also, like, she's good at basketball, obviously. But, like, she understands her privilege and like, pushes her over the top in a sense. It reminds me a lot of you.
Caitlin Clark was left off the Team USA Olympic roster, with officials claiming she simply hadn't earned it yet. But that reasoning falls apart fast. Christian Lettner had 0 NBA experience when he made the 1992 Dream Team. Diana Taurasi was a WNBA rookie when she joined the 2004 Olympic squad, posting nearly identical numbers to Clark's rookie season. Yet somehow, 2 decades later, Caitlin wasn't considered good enough. What happened next proved everyone wrong. She went on to dominate as a rookie, named first-team All-WNBA, leading all newcomers in nearly every statistical category, finishing 4th in MVP voting, and completely revolutionizing league viewership. Her games averaged over 1 million viewers, while the typical WNBA matchup barely reached 300,000. Tickets for her first playoff appearance sold for more than every other WNBA playoff game combined. The Washington Mystics even had to relocate to the Wizards Arena just to fit the massive crowds coming to see her play. She shattered attendance records in every city, and eventually, even Team USA admitted leaving her off the roster was a mistake. Meanwhile, Nike continued to hesitate, sitting on their most bankable star, paralyzed by corporate politics. Then came Wilson, and everything flipped overnight. Their new commercial wasn't just an ad, it was a storytelling masterpiece that made Nike's recent campaigns look like amateur work. It opened with a simple but powerful message: when you strip away the noise and the bright lights, it's just the game you fell in love with as a kid. Instantly emotional. While Nike tiptoed around controversy, Wilson went straight for the heart, reminding fans why basketball matters. The spot continued, feet on the hardwood, ball in hand, guiding you, inspiring you, shaping the player you dream to be. Because the ball always brings you back to your favorite place, calm, focused, and confident. That's not marketing, that's magic. They weren't pushing sneakers or political statements. They were selling passion, nostalgia, and pure love for the game. And the face of this perfect message? Caitlin Clark, the same athlete Nike was too scared to fully embrace. Wilson made her the first woman in basketball history to sign with the company, and the only player since Michael Jordan to hold such a partnership. Think about that, they placed her name beside MJ's. The commercial ended with the line, "Caitlin, always basketball." A tagline so flawless it'll haunt Nike's marketing department for years. While Nike frets over online backlash, Wilson positioned itself as the brand that truly loves the sport. Even the basketballs themselves were designed with intention. Wilson's team spent months learning everything about Caitlin, her favorite colors, hobbies, personal style, even tracking her social media presence. They treated her like the global icon she is, while Nike treated her like a PR risk. Christopher Rickert, Wilson's senior director of global production, revealed that they started with 50 design concepts and narrowed them down through testing. Some colors didn't fit. Some textures failed. Some ideas simply didn't work in real life. But they kept refining until everything clicked. The ad launched alongside a new basketball line on June 23rd, and the reaction was electric. Fans are calling it the best basketball commercial in years, praising Wilson for celebrating the game itself instead of getting lost in cultural noise.
From the sounds of this interview, it seems like she's probably going to make more money overseas in EuroLeague than she did during this WNBA season. The commissioner told her that she could make $700,000 playing in the WNBA.
Nike's silence surrounding their biggest women's basketball star grows louder with every passing day. They're sitting back and watching as Wilson flawlessly executes the kind of marketing campaign Nike should have built, using basketballs to tell the story that Nike is too afraid to tell through shoes. This is what happens when fear, not vision, dictates corporate decisions. Nike signed Caitlin Clark to an 8-year, $28 million deal, a bargain for a player who's already proven she can move the culture and drive sales like no one before her. Yet the company is so paralyzed by the possibility of backlash that it's allowing a basketball manufacturer to outshine them at their own game. The irony couldn't be sharper. Nike's empire was built by athletes who transcended sports. Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, LeBron James, icons who redefined marketing itself. Caitlin Clark belongs in that same category, but Nike's internal politics have blinded them to the goldmine in front of them. Wilson, on the other hand, understands exactly what they've got. They're not just producing basketballs with Caitlin's name. They're crafting a message of authenticity, love for the game, and courage to celebrate greatness regardless of online chatter. And here's what should terrify Nike: Wilson's campaign isn't just good marketing, it's flawless. It captures everything that makes Caitlin Clark special without touching controversy. It honors her passion, her purity for the game, and her power to inspire the next generation. The production value is top tier, the message hits universally, and the emotional pull is undeniable. When you watch the ad, you don't think about politics. You remember why you fell in love with basketball in the first place. That's the kind of emotional connection Nike used to own. Instead, they're watching from the sidelines while Wilson puts on a masterclass. The commercial has racked up millions of views, gone viral across every social platform, and earned praise from both basketball fans and marketing experts. Wilson just proved the timeless formula. When you focus on talent, authenticity, and genuine love for the sport, everything else falls naturally into place. This moment exposes Nike's modern-day strategy for what it truly is: cowardice. They're so terrified of offending the wrong crowd that they're letting the biggest opportunity in women's basketball history slip right through their fingers. Meanwhile, Wilson is forging a long-term partnership with a generational star that could define their brand for decades. The basketball world is watching closely and taking notes. If Nike won't champion their own athlete, other companies are more than happy to step up and do it for them. Wilson just delivered the first strike, a clean, perfect bullseye. Nike needs to wake up fast, because while they're stuck managing politics, Wilson is busy making history. And just like on the court, in business you either rise to the challenge or get left behind. The game has changed, and Wilson just proved they know how to play it better than the so-called masters. This is only the beginning, and Nike's worst nightmare is about to become their reality. What's your take? Drop it in the comments below.